Mood swings, motivation, and midlife. What to do when you feel all over the place. Today's theme is about emotional regulation plus self-compassion during hormonal shifts. You are not a mess. You're just a masterpiece in progress. Welcome back to Weight Loss for Women Over 40. So I am Nikki T. If you are new here, welcome. I have been in this business for over 23 years. I was a professional ballet dancer before I even started doing personal training and health coaching. So I've been around the block quite a few times. I've done the whole dieters mentality stuff. I taught the dieters mentality stuff. And I realized I was just done with it. Didn't want to do it anymore. So this is the show where we talk about mindset being the key element to getting the body that you want. Yes, there is some movement involved. Yes, you actually have to eat some food, right? You do need to eat in order to keep your body healthy and strong, but there are no foods off limits in my world. So if that sounds good, stay and listen to the entire episode. And if you are loving this podcast, please consider giving it a review. 5-star review would be awesome if that's what you were so inclined to do. And that helps boost the ratings and get this podcast out. This podcast actually is doing phenomenally well. And I'm happy to say, I think it was like 25 in the US the other day. So thank you guys for listening. All right, so let's get into the topic. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up in a fog. You're tired, irritated, maybe a little puffy. And I got to be honest, the timing of this podcast couldn't have been better for me because this is how I felt this morning. You had big plans today. Eat healthy, go for a walk, quote unquote, finally get back on track. But instead, everything feels hard. You're emotional, you're scattered, and maybe you're thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? So here's the answer. Absolutely nothing. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not a mess. You're just in midlife. Welcome to 40 and beyond. And your body is going through some deeply intelligent and, yes, wildly inconvenient shifts. So today's episode is your permission slip to stop beating yourself up and start understanding your body with way more compassion. All right, so let's get into it. So, there are hormonal shifts that happen in your 40s and your 50s, and they aren't just physical, but they're like emotional earthquakes. Estrogen and progesterone going and doing their thing, and they don't just affect your cycle, but they affect your sleep, your mood, your hunger, your energy, your stress levels, even your thoughts. So if you've been feeling like your body isn't cooperating, like your mood swing is from confident to crushed in a matter of 10 minutes, like your motivation used to be predictable and now it's just MIA, it's not that you're weak, it's just that you're transitioning. And a transition always feels messy before it gets clear. And when I talk about this, I want to also be very clear that yes, your body is going through hormonal changes. But know that you are still in control of the things that you do, the way you act, the way you react. Because even if you got really angry and rageful, we are still in control of our presentation of those emotions, right? So if someone cuts you off in traffic, you have the option, because you probably have the thought of like, oh, I'm going to get them back, right? But a lot of times we don't act on that, hopefully, right? Because we're mature adults. It is the same thing when you're going through perimenopause and menopause. When you are getting these emotional hits, you get to decide what you want to do with them. Don't give away your power to this hormonal shift. You are always in control, and I just don't believe otherwise. And when you take ownership of that, your life will change. I am going to be 52 in a couple weeks. I am definitely in the perimenopause, hopefully the end stages towards menopause. And I don't have wide swings. I do have emotional times. Now, granted, I've been going through a lot personally, but the way it was described to me when you hit this change is that you're just like a crazy person. And I want to offer to you, again, these are just thoughts and these are conditioning patterns that we are taught that once you hit this age, you're supposed to act like a crazy person. You're supposed to have all these things happening to you. But what if that's not true? Because I know a variety of women that I have worked with who have had symptoms, managed them, or not had barely any symptoms. I had one client who the only thing she had when she went through the transition was peach fuzz. That was it. So you can kind of chalk it up to genetics, who knows? But I want to just put the crack in your brain of like, maybe it's not all hormonal. Maybe it's conditioning. Maybe it's how you think subconsciously. This is how you're supposed to behave when you get to this age. So I'll leave it at that. Not negating that there aren't some hormonal changes going on, but I really question a lot of the conditioning that have been taught to believe at this age is actually true. So let's get back to the podcast. So, I hear a lot from women that like their body just is not it's not on the same page as their thoughts. And sometimes you try and start something new, you try a new workout, you try to switch a habit, and your body just is like, nope, not going to do it. There are times, when you plan out your workouts and you set your intentions for the day or the week and you want to show up, but then your body feels heavy, your mind feels foggy, you're sore, maybe inflamed, exhausted, you're craving everything, and suddenly it feels like you're starting from scratch every day. Now, I know for me, the issues that I have getting up in the morning is maybe some foggy brain here and there, but I truly believe foggy brain comes down to even actually any of these symptoms that I just mentioned, foggy brain, sore, inflamed, exhausted, all those things. How are you treating your body? Like, are you getting enough rest? Are you prioritizing your body and yourself first? Because you need to rest. You need to be taking care of yourself because if you don't, then someone else is going to have to take care of you. So, which if you're in the typical mindset that you have to be there for everyone, this is going to mess up your whole thing because now everybody's got to take care of you. So, the truth is that your body is not sabotaging you. It is really speaking to you. So anytime you have an ache or a pain or you're exhausted or your mind is foggy, it is a signal saying, hello, it's time to focus on you. If actually, I don't know if I've talked about this on my social media. I'm talking about it in the Glow Up program, which is inside my Master Your Mind, Change Your Body. But I've had significant SI joint issues on my right side lately, and my body's speaking to me. My body tells me, hey, you need to go stretch, or you've been standing up too long, or you've been sitting too long. It's time to go. So listen to your body when it speaks to you. Midlife isn't the time for extreme strategies, right? It's not the time to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to power through and do this 12-week grueling diet and workout plan. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was telling her how, like, I haven't been as consistent working out, and now I'm getting back in it. And she was like, you just need to plow through the first 3 days and you'll be fine. I was like, no, not at 51, almost 52. That is a bad idea. Because what happens is if you haven't been consistent in like working out, like, so I've been walking a lot and doing things like that, but as far as weight training, I kind of stepped back from it a little bit. And now I want to get back into it. And you can't go, pardon the expression, balls to the walls the first 3 days. Your body will scream at you. I know mine does. Mine would be like, what are you doing to me? And then I would be incapacitated for probably a week or two or so. So it's actually setting me back. It is better to slowly ramp up and get back into your workouts than to just kind of push through it. And again, like I get it because I used to teach this, like the method. I remember in ballet way when I was little, like we would get off for like a month and then we'd come back in the summer. And the first day you felt fabulous. The second day you were like, ooh, I'm a little stiff. Now we're talking like I'm like 10, right? 10 early teens. And By day 3, I was so sore I couldn't move my body. And then after that, I felt fine. However, when you're in your 40s and 50s, you can't do that to yourself. You will be set back at least a week or two. So I highly recommend that if you are getting back into your workout, take your time. All right. So I kind of went on a tangent on the on the workouts, but it's not a time for extreme strategies. It's not, I really don't think, again, you have to build up. If you want to do those big things like a Spartan run or a race or something like that, build up to it. Take your time because your body will thank you and your body will be much better for it down the line. So in this midlife, I want you to start really deep listening to your body. Ask yourself, am I treating my body as an ally or an enemy? That's a big distinction. When you get on board with your body, when you guys are a team, it's a whole nother level. A lot of women I talk to are like, my body hates me, that kind of thing. Your body is not your enemy. Your body wants to be on the same team that you are. It wants you to thrive. It wants you to do the things that you want to do. Your body, your primitive brain, different story. Your body wants to do the things that you want to do. So become its ally. Another question you can ask is, am I honoring my current energy levels or are you judging it? If you want to go take a nap on the couch because you're exhausted, are you pushing through or are you judging yourself because everybody else is doing everything, or you feel like this is a big one for women, you're sitting on the couch and if you're by yourself, it's not a problem. But if somebody else is in the house, especially your partner, you feel like you should be doing something because heaven forbid we should sit on the couch and rest, right? Stop judging yourself. Next, another question you can ask is, am I creating space for flexibility or clinging to perfection? Our lives are not perfect. I don't think we really want our lives perfect because they would be so boring. We would be like so bored. Create flexibility in your schedule. Have some flex time built into what you're doing. It could even be 5 minutes. Doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I encourage you to make it messy because when it's messy, when you are like, I love when clients come in my programs and they're like, I don't know if I should join because I have a vacation. I have, somebody just died and I have a reunion coming. Like all these things are coming up. And I'm like, this is the best time to join because you're going to fast track really fast. You're going to learn exactly what you need to do to navigate all those things that are going on in your life, right? I teach that in my programs. But when you jump in, no matter what's going on in your life, you're going to thrive. So just know that it doesn't have to be perfect. Motivation is not willpower, right? It's about working with your body, not against it. So here is something I tell my private clients. Your motivation isn't gone. It's just buried under some unmet needs. You don't need to push through. You need to pause and listen to your body. So let's talk about what to do when you feel all over the place. First, I want you to check in, not check out. This is easy to do because the checking out part is easy to do because that's our natural inclination. It's like, oh, this is hard. I'm just gonna like not do it, right? So like for me, for instance, I felt off this morning. My whole day, I still feel a little bit off, right? But I got on and I'm doing this podcast. Love doing my podcast, but today it was a little bit harder for me to push that record button. It's okay. When you feel off, though, instead of grabbing for a snack or your phone to scroll or judging yourself, pause and ask, what do I need right now? Because you'd be surprised what comes up. For me, what I needed was a lot of water today. And then, so the electricity went out 3 times really fast. So hopefully this podcast will go through and there will be no interruptions. But that's frustrating when I am working on my computer and it just completely shuts off, right? And I have to restart it and all the things. So I went for a walk, took my dog for a walk. So check in, see what your body needs. Don't check out. right? You can still do the things that you need to get done or you want to get done by not making it such a big thing, right? I could have freaked out and been like, "Oh my gosh, the internet popped off 3 times and now I'll never get it done." And my brain kind of did start to spiral like that. And I was like, "It's not a big deal. I'll just go for a walk. I'll come back. Is what it is." So the next one is look at micro wins over big goals. I talked about this in one of my reels the other day. Micro decisions are going to get you to your results that you want. Okay. So when you look at those micro decisions, make them micro wins. If you can't do a full workout, like a full 30-minute, 45-minute workout, stretch for 2 minutes or start your workout. You can get a phenomenal workout in 3 minutes, even 5 minutes. I sometimes I give my clients 5-minute workouts. So you can fit it in. It's a micro win, right? If you can't eat perfectly, right? There is no really perfectly, but if you feel like you're not eating the way you should, I really encourage you to join my program and you will understand how you can eat what you want and still get the body you want. But as you go through, just the next meal, you're going to choose a different option. Tiny wins will create momentum. And also, again, we like the gold star. Your primitive brain loves that gold star. We were conditioned as children, gold star is the thing, right? In school. Give yourself the little gold star as you go throughout the day. This will also break perfection because you're looking at the small wins, not the, oh my gosh, I'm not at my goal weight yet. Next, stop over identifying with the low moments. Okay, just because you feel unmotivated doesn't mean you are unmotivated. It just means that at that moment in time you are. And just because you feel scattered doesn't mean you're a failure. Emotions are like waves. They rise up and then they subside. Ride the wave. You are still powerful underneath that wave, underneath that emotion. You get to choose whether that wave takes you out or you get to surf it. All right, so I'm going to give you some reset tools. First one, do the 60-second slow down. Put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, close your eyes, and take 5 slow, deep breaths in and out. And while you're doing that, say to yourself, it is safe to pause. It is safe to reset. You can also say, I am safe in this moment. My body loves me. If you want more things like this, things to say, definitely get into Master Your Mind, Change Your Body, which has my Crush Your Cravings complete program in there. I have a lot of little videos and motivational things inside there. So you can check that out at weightlossforwomenover40.net/group. Next thing is a body gratitude check-in. So even when your body feels like it's working against you, pause and thank it. Have gratitude for your body. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for still showing up. Thank you for the legs that I have. Thank you for this change that I'm going through. Getting good at gratitude with the things that we're like, really, I'm not that grateful for, will be a life changer for you. Shifting from judgment to gratitude is huge. Next, create an evening, I don't want to say ritual, an evening thing to do. I don't like ritual because it seems too, I don't know, corny. But at the end of the day, do something where you can maybe light a candle or get a journal book and just journal one sentence. It doesn't have to be this long drawn out journal session. Can if you want, but one sentence that says, today I honored myself in this way. Today I loved my body in this way, right? Today I took care of myself in this way, something like that. So even when you feel like today is an absolute train wreck, this will help kind of reset you for the night and then for the next day. I cannot stress enough how important gratitude is in the process, just in life in general. I know when I started doing gratitude, man, my life changed. It is such, I feel like it's a magic wand. So get into some gratitude, okay? Messy days don't mean you failed. It just means you're in process, right? We're all a work in progress. Wherever you are in your points, your timeline, and have grace for that. Have compassion for yourself. Everybody is on their own timeline, their own process, and it's not a problem. Just keep going. That's probably the biggest thing. Don't stop. So, you are not a mess. You are just a masterpiece in progress. Your body is your greatest teacher, especially now as you're going through these changes, these hormonal changes. So the next time you feel like everything is all over the place, please remember it's not about pushing harder. It's about softening and trusting yourself and your body. Totally got this. And I've got you. You can breathe. Okay. So if you want to dive deeper into this, you can and create the body that you love. There are currently two ways that you can work with me. One is in my Master Your Mind to Change Your Body group program, which you can learn about by going to weightlossforwomenover40.net/group. You can join right there. All the information is also on that page. And in less than 2 minutes, you could be learning exactly how to lose weight for the last time. Second way to work with me is only for a select few. It is with my private coaching. I only take a few clients at a time. So if you are ready to streamline your results in a customized way, then go apply at weightlossforwomenover40.net/call. And if you're not quite ready, it is not a problem. Keep listening to the podcast, but you can also grab your free copy of 5 Reasons Why You Are Not Losing Weight Over 40 ebook. And you can get that at weightlossforwomenover40.net/book. And as always, you can find the links to everything in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share it with a friend, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Have an incredible day and take care.